Hey friends, I've got the Dopey sweatshirt on, which means today we are taking a break from our regularly scheduled programming and talking about physical therapy and how we help women with aging bodies move like they did when they were 25. ... Again, because today we're talking about the Dopey challenge, and we are going to be talking specifically today about how to register for the Dopey challenge. So I guarantee you, as soon as you get registered, everybody's going to be asking you, how did you get registered? Because it's so hard. Now, there's a lot of videos about how to sign up for Disney and the different challenges and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people walking you through how to do it. And that's absolutely fantastic if you want to watch their whole video and watch their whole journey. Sometimes it can be super fun. However, what I found when I was trying to do my research is that, shockingly, things have changed over the years. So this is your 2024 edition. This is the most current, up-to-date as of 2024. Now, if you're watching this in 2030, it probably has totally changed and you need to find a more up-to-date video. But if you're interested in signing up for the Dopey challenge, I'm going to tell you right now that there are 3 ways that you can do it. We're going to discuss them all today. Number 1 is your regular race registration. Number 2 is getting into Club Run Disney. And number 3 is signing up with a charity. Let's dive into the pros and cons of each. Okay, number 1, signing up just with regular Run Disney registration. You have probably watched a ton of videos about this already because it is difficult. So the year I signed up for Dopey, it sold out in 54 minutes, okay? It is going quick. And it would have gone quicker, except Goofy Challenge is an anniversary year, and I think that's why Dopey actually lasted that long. But friends, let me tell you, it is difficult to get in. That's why we chose to go another option. However, I will say that this year, in order to be able to make this video and offer you this advice, I did do the regular registration in order to sign my daughter up for a 5K, which actually was the second thing to sell out. So the Goofy Challenge sold out first, the 5K was the second thing. And I was able to get her in. So I do actually have a little bit of experience on what I'm talking about. All right, so what do you need to know? First thing, you need to know when registration opens, friends, and what time zone. So obviously all of the posted times are Florida time, and I'm on the Pacific coast, so you got to make sure you do that math to make sure you know what time you need to be at your computer. Number 2, I highly recommend making sure you log in a minimum of 30 minutes beforehand. Now, this is a bit of a discrepancy because some people say 30 minutes beforehand, some people say 15, some people say sign in right on the hour. Now, here's what I would recommend, because tip number 3 is make sure you have multiple browsers open. And I know that this is not a hot tip. Multiple people do it and people complain about it because obviously it knocks other people out of the queue and makes them take longer. Friends, I get it, but with the way things are right now, if you don't have multiple browsers, chances are you may not get in. So I'm a fan of the multiple browsers, but here's what I would do. I would sign in to at least one 30 minutes beforehand. I would sign in with another one 15 minutes beforehand, and then I would sign in with one right on the hour to see if you can drop through that funnel right at the front of the line. Now, does it actually work? It didn't work for me. The one that I was able to sign in on, that I actually got through on, was the one that was about 15 minutes before. So I felt like mine was truly random, but other people have said when they sign in right on the hour, they're able to get in. I don't know. I think that's why it's good to have multiple browsers. That way you can see which one works for you. All right, so now you finally heard those magical tones and you know that you're about to get to register for your race. Friends, please sign out of your other browsers. Make sure that other people have a chance to get in as quickly as possible. I would wait until you hear the tones for sure, but when you hear the tones, it's still gonna take about 10 to 15 seconds for you to be able to get on the registration page. You've got time. Close your other browsers. All right, your registration page is open. It is go time. You are going to put in your information as quickly as possible. Now you already have a Run Disney account and it's all the information in there, so it automatically populates. I will say, because I was registering my daughter and not myself, I did actually have to populate all of this information. I will also say that it does not populate your credit card information, so make sure you have that on hand. The third thing that I want to mention is do not do your shopping while you are registering. I promise you, as soon as you get that registration email, you can go back into your account and do all the shopping you want to do. It is go time, go, go, go until you cross that finish line and get that email. Now, here's my biggest question that I had before I was registering that I felt like I couldn't get an answer to, and that is, what if I'm trying to register somebody else? So my husband and I are doing Dopey together. We agreed that it was either both of us do it or neither one of us do it because we didn't want to do it alone. So here was my plan for Dopey registration. You have two options if you want to register 2 or more people. You can do your full registration, then you can add a participant. There's a box at the bottom, and then you can add their information before you pay. However, the thing is, that does not mean that your registration is guaranteed. It is not guaranteed until you pay. What I did with my daughter is I actually went in and did her entire registration. I paid for her registration, then I clicked the Run Disney logo, and it took me back in. I didn't have to go back into the queue. I could start signing myself up. So then at that point, I went to sign up, and I was watching to see, because it will tell you if anything's sold out, and by the time I was ready to click register, I actually could have registered for Dopey. Now, I had already signed up with a charity at that point, so I did not, and then I logged out to make sure that everybody else had a chance to get in there. However, I will say that was an option that would have worked for us. But in this case, I would have added my husband if I was registering normal. I would have done mine, I would have added my husband, and then I would have paid, because again, it's either both of us or neither one of us. Now, it depends on you and your situation, but you really need to think, is it both of us or all of us and none of us? Or is it, I'm going to get mine and then I'm going to try to get other people's? Either way, you need to have that decision made before you get in there, because friends, time is of the essence. Okay, now if that all sounds way too stressful, and let me tell you friends, it really is. The easier option is to join Club Run Disney. With the upper levels of Club Run Disney, you are able to register a week before everybody else. Or you can register 6 days before everybody else, because you're guaranteed to get a chance to register. Now, yes, you do have to pay for Club Run Disney, and here's the kicker, you have to get signed up with Club Run Disney. Now, we did actually try to do this in order to register for Dopey 2025, and we couldn't get into Club Run Disney, because as soon as they put it out there, and we clicked the link, and we were there. We were at the computer. We did all the things. There was no funnel for Club Run Disney like there is for the races. You just have to wait for the link to come up, and then boom, you're in. So we waited for the link to come up, boom, and then by the time we completed the checkout, which, you know, I have pretty speedy fingers, it was pretty fast, boom, gone. Same thing with my husband. So neither one of us could get in. So Club Run Disney ended up being harder to get into than a Disney race for us. Now, as I'm filming this, they are actually changing a lot of the structure of Club Run Disney. They're changing the timelines and everything like that. So I will say that this guide may not be applicable for Club Run Disney in the future. I don't know what they're going to do in regards to how many people are registered and all of that. They're going to turn it into a year-long membership that goes from January to December, which is not the current structure, but it is going to be moving forward. So starting January 2025, that is going to be the structure, is that you're going to have that registration from January through December, which personally I think makes a lot more sense, but I understand it affects the Disney running season. All that stuff, you can debate that in the comments below, go ahead. But I just wanted you to know that it was harder for us to get into Club Run Disney, we weren't able to, than it was to register for the race. All right, so I've had a lot of people ask me about the charity option and how all of that works, and I had never heard about it before. So our deal was a week before Dopey was going live, the registration, I found out that Team Hope Story had some Dopey bibs left. So I reached out to them and to see if they still had some bibs left, and it ended up kind of coming down to the last minute wire. It was the day before registration that we found out that we were able to get our Dopey bibs. Now here's the thing. We were confirmed that we would get Dopey bibs ... eventually. So on the day of registration, I had put my credit card information in that I will guarantee to raise a certain amount of money for Team Hope Story. However, I did not have that registration information because that does not come out until weeks later. And I didn't know that at the time. To be fair, they probably were very clear about that at the time, but everything was just kind of happening at once. That's probably more of a me problem. But just so you know, you won't have the stress of registration, but you also get to register after everybody else. Now, it's not a problem because your registration is guaranteed. And also, when you register, you can still buy all the things. Once you get registered, you can check out, and then you get your registration in your Disney account. You can go back in and you can go buy all the things. So that's what we did, and that was not a problem at all. I'm assuming that everybody can do that through their charity. However, it is a little stressful on registration day when everybody's going and you're like, I think I have a registration. So I just want to warn you about that. Now, everything worked out fine for me, and I have not heard of any of the charities causing problems or anything like that. It's just kind of a bit of a nail biter for a couple weeks until you do get that registration link and get fully registered. So just so you're aware that that is going to happen, that's how the system is set up. I think if you're ready for it, it's easier to tolerate. Team Hope Story was great. I reached out via email. I was like, hey, so when do we get that link? And they were like, oh, it'll be a couple weeks. And they've been fantastic, and they sent it out as soon as they got it. So I have literally no complaints about the whole process. It's just something that I didn't know. So make sure you check in with your charity. They may not know exactly when they're going to be able to give you that race registration because it depends on when Disney releases it, but I guarantee you it's probably going to be a couple weeks after. Alrighty friends, so there it is, everything you need to know about signing up for the Dopey Challenge. And if I did not answer your questions, please drop it in the comments below because I'd love to make a video to make sure that you have the most accurate, up-to-date information.